Gonna do some damage! Boomtown!
Hey everybody, how you doing today? This is Tackers, the community manager of Empires and Allies, and I am here to welcome you officially to the first Twitch show, Firepower Fridays, Empires and Allies Live. Really excited to bring this to you, bring this weekly show to the audience of Empires and Allies. So excited, of course, to have this game out on the marketplace for the world to finally play and get engaged. So we're going to go over every week this show. We're going to bring it to you on Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be going over some replays, some tips, hints, tricks, maybe some advice from developers, maybe even interviews. We're going to do lots of fun stuff on Firepower Fridays right here on the Empires and Allies official Twitch stream. So just a couple introductions. My name is Tackers, community manager here in the game team. Really excited to answer any questions for you all. If you have ideas, feedback, anything related to Empires and Allies that you wanted to relay to the game team, get some clarity on, this is a perfect chance to do so. We have the game being played. We have knowledgeable people on deck. So, you can fire those questions off in chat. All you got to do is join us in chat by going to twitch.tv, Empires and Allies. If you're listening to me right now live, you're already there. If you're watching this on YouTube, check us out every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So let's go ahead and dive into the game, shall we? So once again, if you haven't caught on, this is Empires and Allies. Brand new mobile war, real-time strategy, mobile game. Brought to you by the Zynga, the makers of Farmville, Words with Friends, some of the very popular games of the past, even another title called Empires and Allies back in Facebook days, but this is specific for mobile devices and it's going after a whole new audience. So this ain't no Farmville. This ain't no Words with Friends. This is a brand new experience that we're super excited to share with you all. What we're looking at right now is actually my base. This is my personal base that I'm playing on here in ENA. You can see up in the top right hand corner, my name is Tackers. I got an XP level of 35 right now, and my HQ is level 14. So if that gives you any sort of insight of where I'm at in the game, kind of how far I've progressed, this is what my base is looking like. Now, I am constantly changing and moving my base around, honestly, so any advice that you all happen to notice or want to offer, it's very gladly accepted on this side, because I'll be happy to take anyone's advice on how I can sort of beef up my game. We're competing a lot against the entire world at this point. The game was in soft launch / geo-lock for a couple months, and the user base was those people that were in those countries. Now that we're worldwide, I can just tell you that I am getting killed. So let's go ahead and take a look at my battle log just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about for the new surge of competition coming out into the world right now. So right now I'm looking at my battle log. What your battle log does is pretty simple, gives you a breakdown of all of the attacks that you've recently done and defenses. Now I have not played, I've been saving myself playing for about 24 hours so I can have a fresh experience on this show. So you can see my attack log is empty. I haven't attacked anybody for a little while. Now defense, that's another story, because remember, this game is 24 hours even if you're not playing. So you need to remember that when designing and strategizing your base for defense, because you can be attacked while you're not at the phone. So what we're looking at right now, or the mobile device, what you're looking at right now is my battle log. So the last battle that I lost was from let's see here, Sergey from Fatso United. Let's actually take a look at Sergey here before we look at the replay. So on every replay, you have the ability to actually go and visit the person who destroyed you, who you fought. And we can see right here that Sergey right here is in an alliance called Fatso United. He has 1,292 medals and a couple stats, kind of rotating at the bottom there. Now, what's really neat is I can go in and I can really take a look at his base. I can see what his strategy is, what things are leveled up to. I can even tap on items within, the base view to see kind of where he's at, what he's leveled things up to. So we can see this guy, he's a level, or guy or girl, can't really tell. He's HQ level 12. You can see he has some leveled up artillery units. Guard tower is up at level 7, so we can see that he's been playing the game. He's matched up to me because we're of similar medal count, right? Like we can see here that he has 1,292 medals. I believe I'm right around there. Always kind of counts. 1313. So you can see that he was in my range, and clearly he won, and he has lower medal count than me. So therefore, he's a very aggressive player. Probably knows what he's doing better than I am. But as I mentioned, let's go ahead and take a look at what exactly Sergey did to me in a replay. It's a really cool feature of Empires and Allies. What's neat is you can go in and watch a replay and see exactly how the other player was acting, what their strategy was, what worked and what didn't. You can identify in the replays where the holes of your base are, what you need to strengthen up, like what items do you need to upgrade, what items do you need to move around, maybe space out, that kind of stuff. So we can see that he started initially with an A10 strike. Looks like he's plotting his kind of his attack here, and it looks like he's launching from the south. So you can see immediately that he launched a bunch of commandos and tanks, but from the back there, which I bet he didn't see, I had an artillery stashed behind the tree. So you can see that did a little bit of damage to him, but we already know the outcome. It's kind of like watching a movie. You've seen it a million times. You know how it's going to end, but sometimes you have to watch it. So he definitely has done a good job of carving his way up the south side of my base, working his way up north. And I think Sergey's doing a great job here of keeping his troops together and focusing on certain targets. I can almost say that is where I falter when we're attacking other players, is my troops are going all over the place and I really need to capture the essence of using the control groups, Alpha. So, looks like he is definitely keeping the health and the boosts going strong. He's definitely carved up most of my base from the south end going up. My spider drones have just launched an attack that failed, and his commandos severely taken them out. So he kept his tanks away from my spider drones, but he's sent in his commanders. Clearly, this player has read what spider drones are weak and strong against. So that's more examples of kind of the strategy that's involved in Empires and Allies. There's a lot of fun stuff that you can imagine and put in a scenario of attacking another place. So we're just kind of watching the carnage here. I got 55 seconds left. Sergey did a great job. Clearly knocked out everything from the south and east end of my base, probably because he identified that there's holes in defense there. I don't have enough defensive structures that are holding him back. So he used that against me and cleared this out. So we can see here 36 seconds left. He's just doing a cleanup job at this point. He hasn't taken out my HQ, which I think he's just kind of toying with me, taking away everything else around first, and really watching the end replay. I bet you his timer's running out. He's like, oh, I'm going to get to that HQ. Knocked it out, 20 seconds left, and my poor little guard tower is trying to do some damage against him, but to no avail. So there we have it, 10 seconds left. Sergey, I applaud you, sir, and you are also the first replay officially shown on Firepower Fridays, Empires and Allies Live, right here on twitch.tv/Empires and Allies. Fun stuff. You can see the replay results now. I mean, it's a really good opportunity to check out exactly how much loot you lost, how many units were deployed, and how many of his units you took out. So at least it makes you feel a little bit better that you just didn't get smoked, and you did some sort of damage to him. But we're going to go ahead and return to HQ, and let's take a look at another replay, shall we? So every week on the show, I'm going to try and focus on a couple recurring features, right? And so we're going to see things like live gameplay, of course with my lovely commentary. Really excited to bring other people in the studio into commentary to comment on gameplay as well. We've got some very opinionated and educated people in the studio, which I'm super excited to share with you all. But also we're going to be looking at at doing like live Q&A. So if you have questions, comments, pop them in the chat right there. All you have to do is if you don't have a Twitch account, you have to register really quick, I believe, to chat to us. But we're here to answer your questions. Now, if you are watching the replay of this, if you're not watching this live, you can always contact us on the official forums, ZyngaPlayerForums.com, or you can find us on a wealth of social media outlets such as Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, lots of different options. Search Empires and Allies in the good old Googles and it will lead you to us. Otherwise, you can always find help within the game by tapping on the settings gear right there. And within settings, you can tap on help and have an issue, report it here. You tap on player support and that will lead you to submitting a help ticket. We're there to help you for anything that you run into. So let's go ahead and move back into the replays. So I showed you the first replay that I lost from Sergey. Good job. Let's go ahead and now move on to Will72 in Leetspeak, it looks like. Will72 from the Black Pearl Alliance. Let's go ahead and take a look at Will72's base first and see how much of an organized attacker this player is. So we can see here that Will72 has 1337. He has a elite amount of medals. I hope anybody got that. But also what we can see here is he's in it to win it. You can see that he has laid out his base in a very strategic manner. Doesn't have like kind of chaos and trees hiding things. He's gone all about defense and presenting, kind of a base that might get you scared when you first look at it. When you're matched against him. I could definitely see myself being matched against this player and saying, "Oh great, I have some work cut out in front of me." But let's go ahead and take a look at exactly how he deployed his troops against my base. So, Will72, let's look at the replay. Alright, so of course he starts off with some A-10 strikes. Ooh, Hellfire Missile, and he definitely takes out a good chunk of some of my defensive units right up there at the north part of my base. No good, and here come the troops. So looks like he's coming in with a strong ground attack, healthy balance of commandos and tanks, and you clearly know that I lost already. But let's see exactly how close I got. So here come the spider drones, and it looks like the commandos are doing a pretty good job of not letting them get to the tanks. Good job there. Now I'm looking at some of my defensive units, some of my defensive buildings down here are trying to make the damage, but you can see that with his, kind of consistent attack with both ground units, tanks and commandos, nothing is stopping him. He's just mowing down the base as he moves along. I see a very kind of straight line that he is taking over from me to the right, and good job here, Will72, definitely with this attack. We're seeing some pretty strong advancement. Now, if you take a look at this, I'm actually kind of eating my words. My defensive units are doing pretty good at this point. I've taken out a lot. You can see all the gravestones around my base. Therefore, soldiers have been dying. Pro tip: if a soldier, if you see gravestones on your base, that means you've been winning. Maybe not necessarily winning, but you've been killing some troops because they left their gravestones and collected resources. That's always fun. He took out the HQ, and here comes another A-10 strike. And as you can see here, 43 seconds left. And Will72, I applaud you. And you, sir, are the second official replay on Firepower Fridays. Thank you very much. We have a question in chat. Let's see here. Cheap stock. My HQ is a lot lower than yours. Any units that are really worth it later on? Tanks and soldiers look like babes for a while. Good question. I think just to translate the question, players asking what is the best units for lower level HQs. Well, it really kind of depends on what you've unlocked, and a lot of what you have unlocked is based on your HQ level. So best advice I can give you up front is focus on upgrading your HQ as quickly as possible, as that will unlock more opportunities, more attacks, more strategies, and units. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look in the research agency and see exactly what each troop does for you and their unlocks. So we're looking at offense right now, because if he is referring to attacking other players, you're going to be choosing from the first tab offense here, and these are the units that you can unlock and upgrade as you go along the game. So you can see here that you start off with Rangers, Ranger Squad, Strikers. I was calling them Commandos earlier, forgive me, they're called Rangers. Ranger Squad. Rangers are an all-purpose fighting force made up of riflemen, rockets, and medics. Weak against enemy infantry and strong against spider drones. So that was definitely displayed in our last replay, I would say. The Commandos shredded my spider drones. I'm sorry, I keep saying Commandos. Rangers shredded my spider drones before they got to my tanks. So this is a good starter, of course. You want to have some strong Rangers to start off with. Now, some other units that are available to you early on is the Striker 6. This is an armored unit. Basically, it gives you a chance to get closer to a building and take it out. So you really want to kind of strategize this against enemy ground troops like infantry and aircraft are really what these are going to target against. I would highly recommend kind of unlocking those early. Personally, I don't use them, just because that's not really my style of gameplay. We'll get into that here when I do a couple attacks for you. But moving on to the tank, this is the next and the last kind of starting unit that we give you. These are kind of, kind of regular, I would say, or kind of average to see in this type of game. A tank is an all-around strong, heavily armored unit that is going to be strong against enemy vehicles and defense structures. So you definitely don't want to send your tanks in to go take out Rangers. You want to send in your tanks to get closer to defense structures and the vehicles that they send out, that are patrolling the base. That's what the tanks are going to be best used for. Now, those are your starting units. Later on down the game, you start to unlock some fun stuff like attack drones. I've seen players run in with all attack drones and smoke my base. Maybe this wasn't intended. Maybe they just have leveled them up strong enough, but attack drones offer a very unique way of flying in with just air attack, and it's weak against anti-air, of course, and enemy infantry. So you want to keep it away from any sort of missile launcher, any sort of rotating, Ranger Squad. Now, what this is going to shred are ground targets. So anything that you need to just send in and kind of get that quick destroy on. Maybe you want to take out a supply depot or something and really start raking in the resources from that attack. Attack drones are going to be a good use for that. So I use a lot of attack drones later on. You'll see that in some of my gameplay. Tomahawks are great from launching missiles from far away. Definitely if you're coming across a base that maybe they have a pretty strong air defense all clustered near the HQ, send in some Tomahawks, park them outside of the radius there, and you can actually just blow that base to bits from a distance with the Tomahawks. Let's see here, moving up, Stealth Tank. Stealth Tank is a great unit. What this can do is it's strong against enemy vehicles and defense structure and weak against enemy infantry. But the biggest thing about this is it's your stun. It fires an EMP burst that when it gets near a defense building, you're going to see that building kind of like freeze, and it won't be able to attack back at you. That's what stealth tanks are great for. It's going to help you kind of freeze a unit. You can send in your rangers and take that defense structure out, all while it's not firing on you. So really, really helpful to use the stealth tank. Up next, we got the Apaches, and Apaches are strong against ground targets and weak against Patriots and domed aerial defenses. We'll get into the domes later, but Patriots, the missile launchers, those will shred your Apaches, so keep your Apaches far away from those. Let's see, what's next? Up next, these are things I have not yet upgraded myself. We can see here the CNC level, or CNC vehicle level 2 right here. This is basically a boost multiplier. So you'll notice in the game you have the ability to kind of boost your troops with the full force multiplier. This is going to continue that boost at anywhere a unit is close to this vehicle. I've not yet unlocked this. It does look like, let's see here, where am I at? Level 14 research agency is required there. So, and I believe I'm at 13 right now. Research. Yep, 13. So you can see here that I have to raise my HQ level to 15, which is the next one, and then I'll be able to upgrade my research agency to 14, and that'll unlock the CNC vehicle. So I think that's a great example of how like the unlocks work, how you can work your way up. Does that answer your question, Cheap Stock? I hope it does. Anybody else out there with questions, comments, feedback? Am I wrong? If you got a different opinion, I would love to hear it. Pop it in chat, because we got people wanting to know. So let's go ahead and go back to another replay. I'm going to try and do 3 replays a show here. Let's see here. The next one is Arnold66 from the Australian Warriors. Let's take a look at Arnold66. Awesome name, by the way. Oh, and Cheap Stock, I'm glad to answer your question. And thanks for hanging out, by the way. And you were the first person to ask, by the way, on the Firepower Friday. So I think everybody out there who's watching this, whether on a replay or live, applause to Cheap Stock for being the first one to step up and conversate. Let's see here. Arnold66, your base, sir, is looking mighty organized. Looks like he has had some recent battles, because we can see some gravestones kind of lingering around, but I think he may be leaving that there just to scare people like us away. He is doing pretty darn good. 1306 medals, 22 HQ, or I'm sorry, XP level, and it looks like his HQ is level 11. So if this, I hope this goes to show anybody out there who might be curious of why they're being matched up against somebody higher or lower, don't let it frighten you. They could be me, who just has been playing for a long time and has an HQ leveled up but doesn't have the skill to back it up. But let's go ahead and take a look at what Arnold66 did to me in a replay. Alright, let's go ahead and start this off.
Commencing it.
Alright, we're going to let the replay play out here for a moment. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I look forward to hearing them in the chat room. Yeah, Arnold66 clearly knows how to play Empires and Allies. Attacking me from the north, did a great job of focusing on my defensive structures first, and then kind of moving his way around the most strategic way to take on the north. So good job, Arnold66. We got a minute left here, and we can see some of my domes and my guard towers trying to make a dent in their rangers, but it is just not happening. Looks like he's about to knock out my HQ. That one's gone. There goes my next Patriot. That's take out. And yeah, so you can see here, came in, smoked me, worked his way down from the north, and really just focused on all of my defensive structures. Great job here, Arnold66. And you, sir, are the 3rd player. I'm assuming Arnold66 is a but Arnold66 is now the 3rd official replay that we've watched on Firepower Fridays. It's exciting, I know, and if you happen to attack me, you might be featured here soon on a future show. Sorry. Now, something to remind all of our viewers out there, whether you're watching this live or on a replay, I don't want to just feature my replays. I want to see yours. So we do encourage anyone out there to capture your replays, share them to YouTube, share them to Twitch, share them to Instagram. Anything out there that you hashtag it with Empires and Allies will probably find, and I'm really looking forward to future shows where we are featuring, you know, the top replays from all across the game and not just from my local device. The game came out last week. We're still developing a lot of tools around it, and we think that in the future we're going to have some great ideas on bringing exciting stuff here on the Twitch show. So I'm really excited to see what comes in the future. This is a kind of like a live dress rehearsal. It's our first one. You know, in the future you can count on things like giveaways, and we're going to go over new features and updates, and maybe even we'll talk some of our developers into coming into the studio and talking with y'all. It's really exciting time. So I'm looking forward to a lot of fun stuff here on the Twitch show. And that was the replay section. Hey, replay with commentary hammered out. Let's go back over to the chat room, see if anybody has any new. Rosie14. I don't understand that question, Rosie. Maybe type it again. Explain. And I'll be happy to answer it for you. But okay, so for the next part of the show today, we're going to be taking a look at the leaderboard. This is an ongoing feature segment that I'm looking forward to do every show. We have a very active and competitive leaderboard out there, and I want to call out the winners. I want to call out those players who are really striving to keep themselves not only in the top 10, but maybe even the top 5, top 3. And I think there's something to call out here. Let's see here. First of all, at first glance, let's just go ahead and accept that the flag that Tykor, Huvenar, and Eric here have chosen is clearly the flag of winners, because the top 3 players currently have that flag. Let's go ahead and take a little closer look at our leaderboard winner right now. Winner on the top of the leaderboard. Number 1, Tykor. He is from, I think I tapped it before, the Persian Empire Alliance. Now let's take a look at what a number one player's base looks like. Pretty spaced out here, I have to say. He has done a great job of making sure an A10 will not take out anything around the target. We can see some pretty high-level dome defenses. In the middle there, we got a HQ level 20 with some serious air defense and ground defense railgun. Metal Rain. These are very high level defense structures that you unlock way later on. So congratulations, Tykor, for holding down the spot at 25,602 medals. Anybody out there who thinks they can take on Tykor, I challenge you to capture it and let us know how you did here on Firepower Fridays next week. I would love to see some of these replays. We'll get to that here soon. So, Tykor, congratulations. You are currently the top of the leaderboard. The leaderboard changes every minute, second of the day. It is a competitive leaderboard in which if somebody makes a move, they could make some serious headway in the leaderboard. So right now, Tykor is on the top. And congratulations, Tykor. Up next, we got Huvenar. Huvenar, I've seen him on the top leaderboards for a while. Looks like he is definitely a contender as well. He's trailing Tykor with 25,560 medals himself, and it looks like he also is from the Persian Empire Alliance. Pick the same flag again. That flag is very popular amongst the top players. Maybe it has something to do with the flag. It's the flag, I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, getting back to the chat room. Rosie, oh, thought it was a different game. Got it. Oh, so this reminded you of something else? That's understandable. We hope you like it. We hope you play it and you find that it has its own legs and has its own little piece of it can find its way into your heart. Huvenar from the Persian Empire. You, sir, are number 2 on the leaderboard today. Let's take a look at your base. This is a lot of fun. Now it looks like he's using trees for cover, which is another great tactic. A lot of players just clear out their trees and focus on, you know, just straight defensive tactics. I want to say that there are going to be some artillery units stuffed behind those trees that are probably giving these people going to this base a nice little surprise they weren't expecting. So that's pretty exciting. Going around this base, looks like I see some level 6 railguns, level 20 artillery, Metal Rain, gotta love Metal Rain. Guard Tower, again, level 20. So these are very upgraded. Number 2 on the leaderboard. He presents a challenge if you want to go to his base. And right now it looks like he's definitely one of the players to beat. He's working his way through the Caribbean right now. So I'm wondering how his... oh, look at that win-loss ratio. This guy has lost 12 times. And he's won over 2,000. So I really suggest stepping up your game, and I'm talking to myself here. Yes, to comment on cheap stock in the chat room, the tree cover is smart. I agree. The tree cover is really smart. I love using trees as cover, and just if you use them correctly, you can catch an attacker just way off guard. So kudos here, Huvnar. Let's go ahead and go back out to leaderboard and review number 3. Here soon I want to have like little like songs to go into. And number 3, Eric with a K is number 3 on the leaderboards of Empires and Allies today. He has 25,453 medals. He's from the Alliance past the Duchies. Let's see here. Eric, taking a look at your base here, I really have to applaud you for some creativity here. It looks like he's stuck all of his tarmacs there right in the middle. Now, something to keep in mind, the tarmacs are not there really too much for defense. Those are where your troops go and are rebuilt for your attacking. So really I like the use of his tarmacs here and just kind of decorating and giving some, just giving some cover around his base. It looks like he got to get through a lot before he get to his base. Not to mention he has level 8 walls surrounding it. So this is what a third on the leaderboard player looks like in Empires and Allies. Currently it's held down by Eric, 25,453 medals. Kudos Eric for holding down the 3rd spot. And actually, it looks like he's definitely making it so that one leaderboard, one alliance does not hold down the entire top 3. Kudos to Eric for that, I have to say. So, looks like Persian Empire is one of the top alliances in the game, I'm going to guess. I haven't even tabbed over there, but they got 2 of the top players. But Eric has snuck his way up there with 25,453 medals. Kudos to Eric. Next up, we got another contender here, Dan Wong from Singapore Armed Forces. That's a mouthful. Singapore Armed Forces. Let's take a look at what his base looks like. This is a 4th on the leaderboard base. 25,426 medals. And looks got some branding there. Singapore Armed Forces, SAF, nice. This is very impressive base here. We got Patriots surrounding the HQ. I mean, I want to say that's a pretty strong tactic because I've tried it myself. Send in a bunch of air units directly to the HQ. It will work on lower level players who have not figured out proper air defense yet, but when you get a little bit higher up in game and you start watching your replays, you will notice that you need strong air defense, and this player definitely has it. So Dan Wong, I salute you and your alliance, the SAF, Singapore Armed Forces. And let's just take a look at his walls here. It looks like he has like 4x4 walls surrounding his base, along with 4 Patriots just right around in Metal Rain. So I can see why he's up there. I can see why this player has 23 losses and 1,800 plus wins, and why he is number 4 on our leaderboard. Dan Wong, I salute you. We got another question in chat from Quaker300. Is there a way to choose who you battle? Like if I want a Facebook friend, or if I want to fight a Facebook friend? Good question, and actually just to answer straightforward, no, not at this time. You cannot choose who you want to battle directly. I can't say I want to battle one of my friends directly. In the future, you never know what we're going to come out with. You never know the additions that are going to, or the feature updates that are going to come. But for right now, to keep a balance, a balanced environment of competition, and not kind of offer opportunity for players to, take advantage of maybe the game's design, it has been deemed that for right now, can't choose your battles, can't pick your battles at this point in time. But you never know what's coming up, and I mean, if anything, if that's something that you're interested in, please let us know via the feedback. Let us know here in the chat room if that is something that would interest you. And I wager they have. I'm using my mind and my psychic abilities, and I'm guessing I have a developer listening to this stream right now. And I bet you that developer is probably interested in your feedback. So, quicker 300. Thank you for your question. I hope that answers it for you. Let's go ahead and dive back down into the game. So we got to spot 4 on the leaderboard. I'm going to do 1 through 5 every week. So up next, we got BBOJ88 from Command and Conquer. I want to give shout outs to Command and Conquer. I was in that alliance for a little bit. They know what they're doing. They strategize. It's a very active alliance, and that is why I wanted to kind of call it out. Is I really love seeing the alliances that work together, that treat this as a great opportunity to get together and strategize against other players, strategize with yourself, and you're improving your own base design and defense and such. So shout outs to Command and Conquer there, and shout out to BBOJ88. I'm trying to see if that says something. Bojaped? No? Okay. I always am curious if I'm just like overlooking like a elite speak kind of spelling or something, but that's not the case here. Number 5 on the leaderboard, BBOJ88, 25,387 medals from the Command and Conquer Alliance, and right now he's working his way through the Caribbean, and he has 1887 wins and 13 losses. That is very impressive. Let's take a look at his base, shall we? So he has a very detailed inner wall structure here. It looks like you are going to do some serious damage before breaking your way through that wall. Now, something I want to call out here is if you'll notice, the very inner wall there, it's level 9. And then he kind of goes out from there, level 8 from there, and then level 3. So you can see that I'm willing to bet that if you were to attack this wall, you'd kind of make some damage in the beginning, which I think is kind of strategic. Like, what if you were seeing this base for the first time, you're like, oh, I could take out a lot of that wall with an A10 strike. Well, if you launched an A10 strike or a Hellfire or something near that and you took out a little bit of the outer wall, you might be inclined to do it again, and that's where those higher level walls are probably going to stop you. So I think that is worth calling out here. But just kind of scrolling around his base, it looks like he's doing a great job of spacing out his defensive units, or I'm sorry, defensive structures. He got a nice little variety of dome defenses. Now, dome defenses are very unique for the fact that you don't know what they are, and it could be an air defense, it could be ground defense. You need to strategize your attack around it being either. It being able to attack either air or ground, essentially. There's a lot of upgrades that you can do to the dome defense units. We'll get back to that when we get to HQ. But just one last shout out to BBOJ88 from Command and Conquer Alliance. You are doing a great job, sir. And 25,387 medals is nothing to sneeze at. I applaud you. And that's going to do it for us today for the top 5 leaderboard in Empires and Allies here on, what was it, May 15th, 2015. 5/15/15 is today's date, which is kind of exciting. So, alright, well, going back to my base, I'm going to do just a little bit of maintenance here. I got to get some troops building so we can do some attacking here soon, get that started. And let's see here. Now currently I have 2 engineers open. So this is where I would begin an upgrade while I get my fighting on. Because I'd say the best strategy for me is start your upgrades as soon as you get into gameplay. I've been kind of showing you guys the leaderboard and all that, not really focusing on time here, but really first thing you want to do when you launch the game is make sure that your engineers are out there working.
Attack drone on standby.
So right now I'm going to utilize my open engineers, to upgrade this rally point to level 3. It's going to take 2 hours there. And something kind of neat here is you can... Oops, I hit the wrong one.
Attack drone on standby.
Tap on that little clock shooting to the right there. If if you're in an alliance, that sends your alliance a help request. If you get the help request back, that will help you speed it. It gives you boosts to drop down on these buildings and kind of speed up the upgrade times. So those are kind of fun way to interact with your alliance. You get something out of it. Kind of cool. We have another question in chat. Again from Cheapstock. I love guy. Do you have any particular order of upgrades you follow when you upgrade HQ? Me particularly? That's a good question. No, I would say actually I have not really don't really think that far ahead personally in my gameplay. You can kind of see that by my medal count and my battle log. So maybe I would not be the best person to ask that particular question of, you know, a particular order that is best to upgrade, you know, your defensive units and such after you upgrade your HQ. I mean, really, since HQ is such a definitive matter of what else is able to be upgraded. Point in case is the research agency that we looked at before. I mean, there's the CNC truck. I really want to or the CNC vehicle. I really want to unlock that, but before I even can get my research level to that level, I need to upgrade my HQ. So I'd say that all things kind of tie back to the HQ. That's the big center focus is focusing on your HQ level and getting that upgraded. And then there's the XP level, which we see in the top left. That just kind of defines how much XP you've gained and how much of a player you are there. I hope that kind of answers your question there, Cheapstock. I don't really have like any particular advice I would like to offer you because I don't want to give you bad advice. So, but maybe we can have one of our developers who is watching live or chiming in. Shoot me a text or chop and chat, and they can offer their advice. Or if you're watching, go ahead and hop in chat right now or comment to the video and tell Cheapstock your opinion on the best order of upgrades that you should follow after you upgrade your HQ. So gosh, I wish I could upgrade this right now, but I'm just a tad short of resources. But that is fine because I think it is about time for us to go do some live
UAV
battles.
standing by. Coming in clear, command.
And once again, this is where I would have that cool little song that said live battles. So, do I have all my troops ready to go? We're just gonna speed them up for the sake of time. And also, I'm going to apply my Strike Force. I hope this is teaching somebody about Strike Force, because if you don't know about Strike Force, you're about to have your mind blown. Strike Force is a very unique way that you can boost your attacks, buildings, things in the game with the help of your friends and alliances. So, first of all, with Strike Force, we give you one. You get one. You get Commander Shepard here, and he is able to be dropped on any tarmac that has troops on it, or maybe a defensive building. So you can see here if I drop, let's see here, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see a little closer here. But let's kind of just drop Mr. Commander Shepard. He's gone to military school. He's not Mr. anymore. Commander Shepard here is if I drop this on my drones, I have my finger over it, which is I can't see it. If I drop him on my drones, these drones are going to have increased troop damage and increased troop health. So clearly it's a little bit of a boost, makes them stronger, and makes them a little bit more durable. Now if I go over to, let's say, this what is that? Guard tower. If I drop Commander Shepard on a guard tower, it's going to make that guard tower have increased damage and increased health next time a player attacks me. Now, the one thing you need to remember is this boost lasts for 4 hours. So maybe using, you want to kind of strategize that. If you plan on going away for a little bit, maybe you're, planning on going to sleep for the night, and you just aren't planning on picking up the game for like another 12 hours or a good amount of time. A good tip would probably be to go ahead and boost all of your buildings with your Strike Force. That will just kind of give you a little bit more peace of mind that those buildings have a little bit of a boost to them, and you just have that little bit more extra chance of your defensives coming out successful. So we got Commander Shepard there on my guard tower as an example, but for the rest of them I'm going to apply them to active forces right now. So what we're doing right now is calling upon my alliance, my personal alliance. You can see some of my friends there. I definitely encourage you all to attack them if you see them. In game, of course. Now I'm going to drop this Strike Force member on my, let's see here, on my missile launchers there. I'm going to make them boosted for another 10 minutes.
Grown up.
Let's see here, I have some Facebook friends. I've connected the game to Facebook, so I'm going to drag not only a Facebook friend, but an Alliance friend there onto those drones as well. You can see that they're now kind of shimmering and have a different color to them, indicating that they're boosted. This next boost is going to go to the drones again, 10 minutes there. And so now I have all 4 current available slots of my Strike Force applied to different things on my base. We give you an option to unlock a fifth slot. This does take some time to get there. You got to get to level 40, and as you can see, I'm level 35. So really looking forward to unlocking that next one, because the more Strike Force, the better, I always say. Okay, maybe I just said that for the first time today, but whatever. I am now prepared to go out into the field and destroy. So currently right now you can see I am working on, looks like Southeast Asia, and I'm in the Philippines. Big shouts to my Philippines friends out there. You know who you are. And let's go ahead and take a look at what Electric Elements in the Philippines looks like. This is a campaign map, so I'm playing not against a real player, I'm playing against a pre-made map that is going to ideally offer a little bit more challenge and you know, maybe even give you some ideas on what you can do in your base in the future. So that's always a good way of looking at playing the campaign, is stealing ideas and stealing like tactics that you learned from, you know, basically losing. But all right, so you can kind of see here with my troop build here, I have a lot of air. I have an EMP tank, stealth tank, and I have 2 missile launchers. What we want to do, what my strategy here with this build is, I'm trying to see how much damage I can do with unleashing a lot of air with a strong, long-ranged ground attack behind them. And so that's kind of my thought process here, is I have 4 sets of drones, 2 missile launchers, and a stealth tank that's going to go in and freeze. So just for fun, let's go ahead and see how this pans out. So here's what your regular campaign map is going to look like. You're going to see some activity. You're going to see troops circling around if that map designer, you know, chose those players to, or I'm sorry, those troops to kind of patrol the area, go back and forth, or you can have them stay stationary just right there at the rally point. But you can see this base has a very strong presence of spider drones. So it's probably not a good idea to launch any of my my armored units anywhere close to them, because they will shred. But let's see how I can do by creatively using some command powers. So I'm going to select an A-10 strike here and actually take out some of these spider drones here. Boom.
Confirmed.
Very good. Took out a good number of them, and I still have 6 command points left to go to play with in the future. So what I want to do sometimes is just kind of take a look at the route, the path that they're going, and see if maybe I can time like maybe my next Hellfire strike, or if I had another A-10 or orbital strike even, if I can time it with them going past a building that I'm targeting and maybe getting some of them out at the same time. Here's a good example right here. I'm going to try and take out, just for the demo here, that fuel storage, and sadly I missed it, and I only got some of the spider drones. I barely struck. So that was a waste of command points right there. Anybody watching, don't do what I just did. So let's go ahead and launch and see how this pans out for me. I'm going to start with only my air, because I would like to see what kind of damage they can do first. So as we can see, it looks like I immediately unlock some command powers. Every time you take out a building, you can lock on command powers and command points rather, and so you can kind of count on those going forward if you just take out a lot of buildings at the same time, right? So you can see I've already immediately jumped up to 60 command points and I have no air drones left. So I would say that's pretty effective. They got all the way up to the HQ where you can see they have a Patriot there and some dome defense. They took them out, but I still have 60 command points and some troops that I'm going to deploy. So that being said, let's creatively do this. I'm going to take out this. Let's see here how I'm going to do this. I want to make sure that if I launch my ground troops, they have a nice steady path of getting to their destination without too much drama from these spider drones. So I'm going to work on boom, Boomtown.
Bringing down the hammer.
Great. Took out a large group of spider drones there, which is a single A-10. Have a little bit more confidence in sending out the remainder of my ground troops up to the north there, but I think I would feel a lot better if these guys were taken out too. Alright, so did a little bit more damage to the rest of their ground troops, so I feel a little bit more confident now to launch these guys, so I'm going to do so now. This is not going to be the most clean win if I do get it. Actually, it looks like I already got the victory because I got 1 star. But I am going for 100% here. So, hey guys, let's focus on the target at hand. So that was not a very good use deploy because they immediately snuck up on me with their spider drones. Kind of thinned me out, but as we can see, I took them out, and they really only have just the 1 spider drone left, kind of circulating. Woo! Looks like he is about to be taken out. Yes, that's done. So now they're just going to meander all the way up to the top of HQ and take out the rest of their defensive units. So we can see my stealth tank there is doing a good job of holding. It was holding an air defense unit, so that didn't really do that good a job for me. But now it is targeting HQ, and with the splash damage, it's actually freezing those 2 dome defenses. So nothing is attacking me, and I have the ability to just kind of swoop up and take out the rest. So it looks like I'm going to get 100% here. Really proud of this victory. Was not the most clean, but I will take it. And there you have it. Victory. Spoils of war. Ding, 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 ding. I donated to my alliance, and I even got the star bonus of 20%. So in that match, however, I did lose 24 drones and 2 rocket launchers, so not too good there. Thank you to my Strike Force members. You can see they were effective and helpful there. And real quick, just so we can dive back into another match for the show, I'm just going to quickly rebuild my troops. I'm going to try this drone attack one more time. I like it. It's fun. That's what it's all about. So I need to get moving. I'm not going to talk too much because I only got a couple minutes left on those boosts, and I want to get the most out of them. Up next, it looks like I'm in Brunei. Brunei? Correct me if I'm saying that wrong. And the map is called Buried Treasures. Let's see what Buried Treasures looks like. So it looks like we got pretty strong defense on both sides, and if you'll notice, there are actually three deploy zones. Looks like one of them is air only, or I'm sorry, 2 of them are air only and the other ones are ground. So this is definitely kind of a strategic map. I'm trying to look at how much air defense they have, if whether or not my drone attack is just going to be worthless. So of course they got their guard tower there. That can damage some air. Artillery does not damage air. You know, oh, so there's the 1 Patriot. Okay, so another Patriot right there. So ideally my thought here is I want to try and weaken those Patriots. Any sort of air defense that they have set up is what I want to go on, what I want to focus on first. Because those I think are what is going to damage my drones the most and kind of break this little attack plan that I have. So let's give it a shot. Alright. So just one thing I kind of want to comment on is you'll notice here if I tap a ground troop, right now it's my stealth tank, the other 2 launch areas disappear. That's what I was mentioning before by those are air defense, air deploy areas. I could drop my anything flying in those areas, but if it needs to touch the ground, it needs to go down here to the south, and that's only. So you're going to run into that a little bit here and there in the map. Nothing to worry about. It is intended, so don't worry. It adds a little bit more strategy and challenge. So let's take a look at what kind of damage I can do. Oh, perfect timing. Okay, well, not the greatest. Definitely did some damage to their spider drones there. You can see I thinned them out, but I didn't take out the Patriot, which is what I wanted to do, and that is what I was really focusing on most. So I'm going to try and... Okay, Hellfires don't do very much splash damage, so they're really only going to target exactly what you hit, and that's why those Rangers were phased by the fact that I just dropped a Hellfire right next to them and took out one of their buildings. They just kept on their way. So let's go ahead, and I used up kind of the command points that I was planning on using. So I'm going to go ahead and drop my air units over here in the air deploy zone, and they're going to kind of start doing their damage. Now that that's happened, I'd like to now call all of my troops and focus on certain areas. So by doing that, you have a couple ways. You can drop a flare, or if you have them broken down into control groups, you can use the Alpha Bravo call center right there at the top of the units. And definitely doing a pretty good job, actually. Doing better than I thought I was. I still have drones alive, so that's always a win. Usually when they're first to go, because I send them in coordinate block onto the chessboard. Maybe not the best strategy. Don't do as I do. I would even do as I say, actually. This is a demo to show you how fun it is. So you can see here I've got 90% working on HQ, took it out, and have 100% finished this base with my strike force still in hand. And I bet you they're probably timing out here soon. But there we go. I got nice spoils of war. They only took out my drones this time around. They didn't take anything else out. That's not too bad. And I even have some left. Fun aspect of this game is after a match, any troops that you still have, any units that were not used or that were still alive at the end of the match, just say you get them back. You get to keep them. I've heard that's a good thing. So there we go. Let's see here. Got a couple matches out of the way. Now something else I want to go over on the world map here, which drives a lot of questions, and so I thought I would get ahead of it, is every once in a while you're going to run across a map that maybe is higher level than you, or maybe it is just you looking at it you feel it's too tough. Now we definitely understand that. We recognize that sometimes you're going to be put up against just simply maps that are a little bit too tough for you to finish at that very moment. That's intended. If you're put up against a match now, if you're put up against another player that is higher level than you, the reason why you were matched with them is because you have a similar HQ count, or I'm sorry, a similar medal count. Medals kind of define who you are paired up against in PvP. So if you are, plus or minus, however it's set to, you will be matched up with somebody within that range, and you'll notice them popping up on your quick matches as well as in campaigns. In campaign mode, you actually have a chance to battle a PvP player in every region. It looks like in this region I've already taken him out, I think? Yes. Because ideally what you would see is, rather than all these kind of nice names for maps, interstitial moments, choose your own adventure, those are the map names. But let me see if I can find, I think I just already took out the PvP player on this map, so I can't really show that to you. But ideally, again, you're going to run into maps in your adventure here against the GRA, and you're going to think they're too tough. What I wanted to show you here is, let's say we go here to Lao, and we say, oh wow, this map, I don't know, I don't think I want to do this one. You can always actually go back into the map from world map view and hit change mission. Change mission, you can do this once for free, and it does reset the stars that you earn because you're fighting a different map now. So if I feel that map in Laos was a little too hard, it's going to try a different one for me. This one now, it's called high-low. Let's see the difference of the previous map and this one. You know, ideally this one would be, oh, I think I have a better shot at this. And so that's why I'm going to actually target this one. So yeah, there you go. Just a quick pro tip there regarding bases that you run into that might be a little bit higher level. Don't worry, don't panic. That is definitely intended. And basically what we're saying in a roundabout way is we feel that you are a contender for that person. We feel that you can actually hold your own based on your progression in the game, based on how fast you're acquiring medals, and maybe how much you're losing medals. You could be dropped down if you know, you're a very competitive player and maybe you don't realize that you didn't upgrade the northern part of your defense structure in your base, and that's why people started while you were out of town one weekend. You came back and all your medals were gone. You look in your log and it's because, you know, you were just getting owned. Well, that will shoot you down in the leaderboard, but keep in mind that's putting you in a group of players that you have already surpassed. So if you ever lose medals, I guess what I'm trying to say here is don't panic and don't think it's loss of progression. It's really just a little bit of motivation of you to get back out in the battlefield there, Commander, and prove your dominance. Because quite honestly, the leaderboard is the medal count and leaderboard is so up and down. It can jump up and down within 5 minutes time. In fact, just for fun, let's go back over the leaderboard and see if anybody has changed. Like, I mean, you have to imagine that Tycor, Huvanar, and Eric, and Dan Wong, and BBOJ88, by the way, our top 5 of the first Firepower Friday. Whoop. Those guys, they're probably very competitive, and I'm willing to bet that every time they log in, they might really get upset, or not upset, but just, you know, interested if they see that they've gone down a couple slots. I mean, clearly they're very high up there. They've competed a lot, and if Tycor logs in one day and sees he's number 3 and Eric's number 1, they're going to want to know what Eric did to get up there. And so that's where the replayability, that's where communicating with your alliance, that's where all the kind of bells and whistles that are built into Empires and Allies really come and help with the strategy. This is definitely not just a pick up and play, easy peasy kind of game. There is some strategy in there. I mean, if you're the type of gamer that just wants to blow some stuff up, there's definitely value in Empires and Allies for you. If you're a gamer that wants to get into an experience, maybe you come from an RTS strategy background, Empires and Allies has something for you as well. So really excited to show that all to you. We've gone over the top players. We've gone over some of replays. We've even done some live fighting here on the show. Now it's time to call out a little bit more of the leaderboard. Up next, we're going to be talking about the top alliances. This is another type of leaderboard that's going into that's in the game. And just as a heads up for anybody out there questioning how the current leaderboard works, if it's going to be updated, personally, I could feel that if I was a new player coming into the game and seeing players like Tycor at the top, I would probably feel a little daunted. You know, it's a little daunting to go climb your way up that high. But there's a lot of things happening on the back end that we are planning on upgrading, changing, and making it better for the players. So you, the player, if you're listening to this and watching this, listening to me ramble on a Friday at 3 p.m. when I'm sure you could be doing other better things, thank you, by the way, for hanging out. Just remember, you can always let us know your ideas. That's what this show is for. That's what the forums and Twitter and Facebook is for. If you have ideas that you want to see implemented into Empires and Allies, shoot them our way. A great idea here would be to start, what do you want to see in your leaderboard? What do you want to see as an alliance leader? What do you want to see as a player, whether you're casual or competitive? We want to take all that feedback in and try and work it into actionable items that we can that you all will enjoy. And so that's my little speech about giving us feedback and everything. Let's jump back into the leaderboard. Right now, let's take a look at Aussie Army. Aussie Army right now is holding down the top spot in the leaderboard. They have 624,750 medals combined between all of them. Now, I dove into the stats here of their leaderboard. Now, mind you, I'm not kind of showing anything secret here. I'm playing the normal game that you are playing here. And so, if you wanted to go in and check out the top leaderboard and maybe their top 5 players, you could do so, and you can see like how John Utton here has 25,319 medals, tied with Guy Tan. Pretty interesting. But also a couple other interesting facts on this page is you can kind of see how the Aussie Army takes in their players and kind of what requirements they set. If clearly they're at the top of the leaderboard, so they must be in it to win it. You can kind of see here that they have it's a requirement to have at least 8,000 medals to join this to join this alliance. So me immediately would not be able to play. Also, they're aiming at high-level players. They're aiming at players that have they're going to commit and kind of add to this group effort of working up on the leaderboards. And you can see there that they do that by requiring the medals and also HQ level 13. So that's just an idea of how a top alliance works in Empires and Allies. Kind of fun. Let's go ahead and take a look at the number 2 spot. Navy SEALs. Awesome name and awesome movie. When he jumped off the Brit. Okay, anyway. Navy SEALs. You can see here that well, they're ranked number 2. They got 48 members. You have to have 3,000 medals to get into this one, and only an HQ level of 1. So it seems like the requirements kind of to join the Navy SEALs Alliance is clearly a little lighter than what we saw on the previous, but lighter doesn't necessarily mean not as organized or maybe not as effective, because you can tell they're holding down the number 2 spot in the Alliance leaderboard, and I mean, their top 5 players all have over 25,000 medals each. So kudos to Navy SEALs. Props out to you all. Let's go to number 3. And again, shouts to Command and Conquer. And what a clever name of an alliance for this game, wouldn't you say? No, I poke fun because once again I was in that alliance. I have a lot of respect for the way that they ran things, and I really appreciate seeing teams of people, groups of people like Command and Conquer utilizing Empires and Allies as a way to just have fun with your friends. And when I was in that leaderboard, or when I was in that alliance rather, I felt welcomed. I felt like I was a part of the team. So Command and Conquer, I'm no longer with you all. Sadly, I can't take any credit for you all being at the top of the leaderboards, but BBOJ88, Major Problem, Carlos Leroc PH, and McKay, the top 5 players of their leaderboard, they certainly are contributing to that. So kudos to them. Just a little bit of insight on their requirements. It looks like, first of all, they're full. So if you were looking to join Command and Conquer, they are not hiring anymore. Or they're not recruiting anymore, rather, because they have full up on members. You can have 50 members in Alliance, if anybody was wondering. Required medals, 2,000. Required HQ is 1, and no approval to join. So it's like, why does this matter? Why does he keep saying this stuff? Again, I just want to kind of harp on like how different alliances handle their business, and maybe there is no such thing as one right way. Because just in taking a look from the outside, I can see that Aussie Army, the number 1 team, or number 1 alliance rather, they set very high standards for their alliance members to join. There's you got to have level HQ 13 and 8,000 medals. That's not hard. That's not a very easy task to have or to accomplish, and clearly it's working for them. But at the same time, we see Navy SEALs and Command and Conquer with lower requirements to get in, and they seem to be doing just fine. So I don't know. See how that rivalry pans out. Up next, we're looking at the number 4 spot in the top alliances. This is Once We Were Noobs, and I have to say, best alliance name of the show. See, this is where I need like some type of little like sound to make where something cool happens, and anyway, yeah, we'll work on that for the next show. But really now, this is really neat, I have to say. I'm really really excited to see some like cool names and fun stuff happening in our game. Nicolo Raymond Pokey. Oh, my Japanese teacher would slap me because I forgot what that says. Iwata and An2. Some clever names. They are holding down the top 5 of Once We Were Noobs. They have 48 members, 4,000 required medals to get in, an HQ level requirement of 1. So they're doing a good job with Once We Were Noobs. They are no longer noobs anymore. Now they're number 4 on the leaderboard. So congratulations, Once We Were Noobs. And finally, for the number 5 spot of Firepower Fridays Empires and Allies Live, we have Canada Elite. I salute you, Canada Elite. They are 48 members deep right now. Required medal count of 3,500, not too bad, and HQ level of 1. So the requirements aren't too tough. Looks like they have some players that, you know what, could probably use a lesson in picking better names. So I'm just going to leave that alone there. And just pro tip to anybody out there, please remember that when you're picking a name, pick one that doesn't offend others, because we will change it and we'll take action against your account. So that's just my one little sad mention here in the show. We'll get back to having fun. But congratulations to our top 5. You know, I guess since six slots here fit on the screen, I guess I should just go over the top 6. So Canada Elite, you guys are holding down number 5. Congratulations. You got 338,675 medals for Canada Elite. And it looks like they have 2 spots open if anybody's looking to get into a top alliance. And so for number 6, I'm going to start doing number 6 now since we can see them. We have the Wolfpack. Awesome name, Wolfpack. I just watched a movie the other day. I'm sure you all know which one I'm talking about, that mentioned Wolfpack all the time. So with the Wolfpack, they are 48 members deep. They have a required medal count of 4,500 and a required HQ level of 7. So you see they raise their standards a little bit. They're looking for players that clearly have gotten past that initial hump of the game and are in it for competition's sake. And so I think this is a great example of a base. Good job here. Blum16, Thomas Can, Where Am I Going Wrong? Awesome name. Grizzly and Tank WW are holding down the top 5 slots of that alliance. And congratulations to the Wolfpack and all other alliances in the top 6 spaces of Empires and Allies leaderboards alliances. Yay! Congratulations. Well, cool. So yeah, we're having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. I'm really enjoying chatting to the players here. If you're listening to this live and you have a question or an idea that you want to pass along to the studio, we are here and listening and ready to answer your questions.
Coming in clear, Command.
So while we wait for some more questions to come in, I'm going to get back to my base and do some maintenance. So while I do that, I'm going to put myself on mute for a little bit. You guys can hear the awesome soundtrack and voiceovers as we work on it. And I'll be right back. If you have any questions in chat, please shoot them my way, or else you can also send them on Twitter with hashtag Empires and Allies, all spelled out there, Empires and Allies. We got some other fun stuff for you on Twitter and Tumblr and stuff too, so I highly encourage you to check out those channels. But in the meantime, come on into chat. Let's talk about ENA, answer your questions, and maybe help clarify that confusing step that you just couldn't figure out on your own.
UAV clear
I don't
for
really
mission.
know what that could be, but I'm here to help. Thanks you guys so much. Again, this is Tackers. We're not going away just yet. I'm going to be playing the game for about another half an hour, so I'm going to let people come in, answer the questions that they have, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.
UAV cleared for mission. stand by. UAV standing by.
Alright, we're back. I just did a little research just on a couple items there. I wanted to see sort of what items I need to focus on upgrading over the next couple features. Let's see here. I think what we're going to do next is actually focus on I'm going to do some more replays. I want to dig back into my battle log here and actually see how my base could get stronger and where. Let's take a look at least one that I've won. Those are my attacks I just won. So yeah, it doesn't look like I've done too well. I think I'm gonna take a look at this replay from Jaws here from the SG Creator Alliance. Let's take a look at what Jaws did to me here. Oh, we got a mention in chat. Quaker 300. Oh, I love this guy again. I want to see you take out another player. I would like to see myself take out another player too. So, we're both in that boat. I agree with you there. Let's not watch Tackers get destroyed all day on Firepower Fridays. Yeah, that's on Thursday. So we're gonna change that to Tackers gets destroyed Thursdays. Okay. So here we got Tacker Jaws. XP level 24 is doing a pretty good job of moving his way like northeast, kind of like basically working his way from the west over the east. And very, very like solid battle, kind of like battlefront. His troops are really good at giving. It looks like they're targeting all of, which you should be doing, targeting all of my defensive units first.
Don't let it through!
See that right now, just kind of pinging away at my HQ with his long-range units, and his stealth tank there is just really kind of going one-on-one with my dome, with my dome gun. So kind of funny there. Let's see how this pans out. Again, it's like watching The Sixth Sense for the second time. So you know what's going to happen. So, and I think any experienced Empires and Allies player can appreciate this. I think one of the best moments in the game is when you only have one unit left and no sort of defensive structures left, and you're only just it's happened to all of us. It's fun, and it has to be annoying for that guy who's watching the replay and realizing that. If you only would have upgraded that building one more time. Sweet. So, good job, Attacker Jaws, I have to say. Is slowly but surely taking out all of my units. And I'm very impressed there. Kudos there, Jaws. 17 seconds left. And see, that, just as I mentioned before, that one unit just trying its hardest. I think I can take out this base. Awesome, and there we go. Nice replay results there with Jaws. Looks like he took a lot. He didn't get any fuel, which is good to know. But he did steal supplies, steel and tech from me, and of course, most importantly, we got those 9 medals. So kudos to Jaws. One thing that we didn't do while looking at the log is let's go look at Jaws' base, shall we? Let's see here. By tapping on Jaws' name, I can go over to visit. And let's take a look at Jaws. So, yeah, Jaws has a nice little, I'd say the beginning of a larger plan. This is, I'm sure, a master plan that has not yet seen to fruition. But Jaws is, let's see here, 1,365 medals. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job of kind of wrapping walls around. I don't know if I would have really chose a supply drop to wrap in walls. I probably would have used another defensive structure, but hey, this is why my battle log has nothing but losses in it. So yeah, but nice job here, Jaws. Now for an added fun, what you can do in the battle log, which we haven't been doing in the show yet, I was going to save it for later, is what we can actually do is retaliate. So we can retaliate against a player that's attacked us. All you got to do is scroll to the player that you want. This time we're going to target Jaws and tap on retaliate. Now this acts just as like a normal attack, like you were playing PvE. You're going to be presented with the map, and you're in satellite feed, so you can kind of scout it out, see if this is something that you want to pursue. And I think for the show's sake, I think everybody agrees with me. Let's retaliate against Jaws. So here we got Jaws' base has a lot of deploy area. Anywhere that's shaded is somewhere I can drop my troops at, and so you can kind of see here that I have opportunity to kind of like sneak stuff in, maybe where he didn't want me to, but he's offset a little bit because you can see some mines just kind of scattered around the open area. So I think he is anticipating players being dropped, or troops and units being dropped inside his base walls, maybe where he didn't want to. But at the request of Quaker 300 here, I've been requested to take out another base, and so let's do it. I need to figure out my attack strategy here. So I see that he has some Patriot there. Those, now, as you all know, I have some very strong air right now, so I'm gonna focus on using my 9 command points to take out this Patriot first. That'll bring me back up to 6. Now I can actually, I wish those Rangers were patrolling and not just standing there. So okay, I have A-10 strike coming in. Ideally take out a couple buildings. Yes, I got a couple more command points my way.
Time to drop
now,
metal rain.
I'm going to start deploying my troops and seeing what kind of damage we can make here. Now, this is a tactic that I don't always suggest. It is simply just dumping all your troops in one spot. It works for me because I like to just kind of have all my troops assigned to just one control group. I don't have them broken out into 2 yet. It saves me a couple command points here and there, but all I can suffer is some cooldown time. But in the future, I definitely see myself breaking my troops out into more kind of distinct control groups. Really, what I'd like to focus on is just getting kind of air and land support. For any of you out there that have not utilized control groups yet, and wondering kind of the best way to do it, I I mean, again, I'm not the best. I'm not the best piece of advice here, but I would say that works for me is a good way to understand it is just break them out into air and ground. So if you hit A, they'll have all your air. B, Alpha will have all your air units. Bravo will have all your ground units. And see how that helps you kind of strategize. From there, then you can start swapping units in and out of those different control groups and identify what would be the best control group setup for you. But Jaws, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but I just 100%ed your base. So, and I was talking so much I didn't even use my Osmon command powers. Still very fun. It looks like, there we go, Quaker 300. That is for you, buddy. We just took out a PvP player live on Firepower Fridays. Very proud. Jaws, I hope you realize that you are the first PvP player that lost on my show. But I'm sure he's going to retaliate against me again, and it's going to, I will lose again. But there we go, victory. I got those precious 14 medals. That makes up for a couple of those I lost in the past. See all the spoils of war, all the loot I got. And also over on the right there, definitely a call out there is donate to your alliance. Luckily, when you take out bases, you have that ability to donate some of the goods that you got from the resources from the base to your entire alliance. So every base, every victory helps everybody. Casualties. I lost some drones and I lost my stealth tank. So that's a good job on Jaws and taking out some of my units, costing me fuel. But I did walk away with the W, and I got the confirmation from Quaker 300 in chat that I did a good job. So that definitely made my day. I appreciate that. We got 4 minutes left on the show here, everybody. Looks like we're gonna go from 3 to 4:30 every Friday. And I hope you enjoyed what you watched. It was like a live dress rehearsal today, really. Like, it was very, very basic setup, kind of testing out some footage or testing out some connection things. Again, as I mentioned before in the show, we have a lot planned for the show. We're gonna be back every Friday with more new stuff to share with you guys. Next week, you can definitely count on having maybe somebody from the studio sit in with me and talk the whole time. I can assure you don't want to hear me talk every day, Friday from 3 to 4:30. So I will be bringing in some backup there, and we'll have some insight and definitely kind of counterpoint opinions of people's bases. Not to mention, I do want to call out that we are going to be kind of giving some shout outs to our players on this show, and that's what we're going to actually spin off into here in a moment. Is if you are on the social networks, if you're on the Twitters, if you're on the Facebooks, if you're on all those different social networks out there, search us. I actually just created a Vine account as well, so if you happen to be on any of those sharing Instagrams type of services, we're there, and we encourage you to find us and interact with us. And a great way you can interact with us is by tagging any sort of Empires and Allies related tweet with the hashtag Empires and Allies. Very, very simple. We're looking for that at all times, and I can tell you right now, if you hashtag like a base design or maybe a strategy, a YouTube video, anything like that, we'll see it. And, you might just be landing. You might end up on Firepower Fridays. This right here on Twitch.tv/Empires and Allies. That was a whole mouthful. I think what it is I've been talking for an hour and a half straight, and I don't have too much more to say. So it is definitely good that it's wrapping up here to the end of the show. But again, before I break away, what I'm going to do is I'd like to show you all. Let's see here. What we'd like to do here is call out some of our players out there in the world who are currently tagging their posts and their images with hashtag Empires and Allies. So what we're going to do here real quick is just pull up a quick website, and you can see here that I am just on good old Twitter searching for Empires and Allies. And as we scroll down, you can see just people all over the world posting and sharing some of their advice, ideas, comments, concerns, everything about Empires and Allies. Yesterday we asked our Twitter followers what celebrity do they feel would be fit into the world of Empires and Allies, right? Well, I can tell you right now that I'm sure you can see from your screen some of the winners that we got, and some of the ones that we'd like to recognize are at Ice Cream's dad, at Ice Cream's _dad. He thinks Will Smith, Vin Diesel, and The Rock would make perfect celebrities for Empires and Allies. We salute you, sir. Good idea. Another one that he suggested was Bryan Cranston of the lead of the GRA. Does anybody else agree there that Bryan Cranston could probably lead the GRA? I would agree so. Thank you very much for your tweet there, Tadeo Ice Cream's dad. Also, we got Ariel Arias-U. I'm sure I'm saying that Twitter name wrong, but thank you for tweeting out to us. The world is going to be mine. Mwahaha! I just finished Africa, and it's looked like he is working his way up to the Middle East. We wish you good luck, sir, and applaud your efforts in your struggle against the GRA. So good job there. Scrolling down. We got at No Sync. He says Arnold Schwarzenegger could be the star of Empires and Allies, and I tend to agree. I would love to see Mr. Schwarzenegger play our game and be featured. That'd be awesome. What else? At Del44223, he says that most of Africa is secured and not a penny spent on this game. I'm a little torn at that statement. No, I'm just joking. Great tweet. I really appreciate that. I think he's commenting on the fact that we really strive to make an experience here that is not pay to win. It's not pay to play. It's a fun free to play game. Clearly there's opportunity for you to spend money on gold and upgrade your troops and units faster and such, but I can assure you, just like we've seen in today's video, that there is opportunity for you to earn your way up the ranks and even get gold. We didn't go over that this show, and maybe we'll get into that a little bit more next week, but we give you ample opportunity to actually earn free gold in the game. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it will start piling in once you get in the habit. But a couple pro tips I can give you right now before we kind of end the episode today is if you're short on gold and you're wondering how you can obtain some gold without paying for it, I'm happy to share that with you. First of all, mine your trees. Number one, mine those trees. Mining trees in the game is going to provide you a reoccurring, a replenishing source of gold. Because trees grow back. They're not now. Please open up your window and tell me how long that tree that might be out there, hopefully, has taken to grow. We're gonna probably borrow that that mentality. Trees are not just going to grow like crazy on your base. Clearly, it's going to take a little bit for them to grow back if you have mined them. But something to keep in mind is trees aren't just there for gold. You can use them for cover. You can stick artillery units behind them. Maybe stash a rally point in there and have some troops and spider drones sitting in there laying in wait until an attack comes and they need to defend. Another great opportunity to get gold is pursue those achievements. The achievements in the game, the little globe in the top left hand corner of the screen, you saw me looking at it right before we ended. That is another place that we offer gold for knocking down those achievements. So some of the achievements are very easy to do. Things like leveling up your supply depot to level 5 or something, like very, very doable. Doesn't cost any money. It takes a little bit of time, but you'll get there. Those will start dumping gold into your account too. And the third suggestion is your alliance. Your alliance is a very, very powerful ally. I know that sounds very silly to say, but it's true. Your alliance is your best ally in this game. Any sort of match that you win and take out, you have the ability of any match that you win and you get loot back from, donate it to your alliance. If you have a building that you've just started and you want to free up that engineer a little quicker, you can send a request to your alliance and get a speed up from your alliance. So there is actually benefit in being in an alliance and an active one. So any of you sitting on maybe your own alliance and nobody's joining it, totally understand the want and need to have your own alliance. My personal suggestion to you is maybe identify about 48 other people that have their own alliances as well and see if maybe you all can join and be in one big one. Because the more active people in your alliance, the more you're going to see out of this game. So that's my final thought on Firepower Fridays, Empires and Allies Live. I really appreciate all of you who have stopped by today. We had, I mean, again, this is a live final dress rehearsal, so to speak. So we have a lot more coming with replay tech and new tools. I got some sound bites coming, and just all in all, this is going to be a very, very fun experience that I can't wait to share with everybody who is tuned in. So really, this is where I'd say I can go ahead and part ways with you. Thank you so much again for tuning in. This is Tackers, Community Manager of Empires and Allies. And if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, reach out to us on Twitter, Facebook, or any other social channel that we're on, and I'm behind waiting for your contact. Thanks so much, everybody, for stopping by, and get back out on the field. And and add me in game, by the way. I'm sure you've seen my name the entire time. Tackers, you can add me in chat. Be happy to chat with you there. Our alliance is always looking for people, the GPX Gorillas. So I encourage you all to stop by and say hello. Other than that, have a great weekend. Firepower Fridays. Out. Thanks so much.